All right, my friends, so if you just kind of remotely pay attention, there are 3 questions on the final exam that are related to the statistics. 3.
3 what?
And I would say of these 3 questions, if you don't get like 2 of the 3 right, there might be something wrong. And it might be something wrong with my teaching, or it might be something wrong with you, or a little bit of both. But I'm all, you know me, I'm all goofed up. All right. So I am on page 225, and I'm looking at problem 1. This is off of worksheet, the stats C worksheet. Okay, can I do it? Yep. It says, suppose you take 20 minutes on average to drive to school with a standard deviation of 2 minutes. Assuming a normal model applies, sketch your drive to school curve. Okay, so that just means, hey, draw a normal curve. Do your best you can to make your thing look like that. They say it takes an average of 20 minutes to drive to school and a standard deviation of 2. Is that right? So that's a 22, 24, that's a 26. That's supposed to be a 6. And that's an 18. That's a 16. And that's a 14. So that's the first thing you need to do. And then let me fill out the percentages that go on each of these. So we know that this is 34%. This is also 34%. These are both rounded, but don't worry if it's rounded, it's not going to affect you that much. That's 13.5, and that's 13.5, and 2.35. They're all percents. And, hey, 0.15.
Late much, Grant?
You were drinking water?
He slipped on the drinking cup. Outside.
Alright, here's all your pictures. Yay.
Give him a tardy.
Tardy?
What me?
Here, Coop, I'll just, for sake of life, you get a Z.
What is this? Grant gets a Z too and he's 20 minutes late?
Dude, you're going to see what a Z means.
It means here.
Man, your dean's calling you in. They're already writing the pass.
No, Z is when like substitutes take attention.
Right, I know. Okay.
How do I get tardies and Grant doesn't? That's fake.
Dude, deal with it, man.
Yeah, I have like 3 tardies and my dad's on that.
Good. All right. So,
Hey, you think in Britain they still call it a toilet with
all right. So question A, it says, how often do you arrive in less than 22 minutes? So you're talking about here. So you add. So 34 plus 34 plus 13.5 plus 2.35 plus 0.15. If you add all that up, that's because this one's asking here. This is saying, hey, I want all the area that way. Does that make sense? Do I have to add it up? Or are you pretty sure you know how to do it? And then how often do you arrive in more than 24 minutes? So B, more than 24 minutes. So you're talking about here going that way. So you're going to go 2.35 plus 0.15. Those were percents. So 2.5% of the time. It takes you more than 24 minutes to get here. And then how often do you arrive less than 14 minutes? So less than 14 minutes. So that's here going this way. Well, that's only 0.15 at the time. 0.15% of the time. And then how often does it take you between 16 and 22 minutes? So from here to here. So that's going to be, so that's D in between. Oh shoot, I forgot what it was. That was D between 16 and 22 minutes. So on that, I'm going to go 34, 34, and 13.5. Add all that up, and that's how often you would go into that range. And then how long a drive is the shortest 2.5% of all drives? Wait, how long is it? Oh, that's the z-score. So the z-score is the observed minus the mean over the standard deviation. So if I put 2.5 in here, 2.5 minus my average, which is 20, divided by 2. So that's going to give me negative 17.5 over 2, which is negative 8 point. Oh, I just got dumb. So 2 goes in there 8 times, 6, 15. 8.75, is that right? Yeah. Gotcha. So that's very unlikely that's going to happen. That's all we have there. Questions about that? I know. Why are you not targeted? You know you're playing video games on your phone too. Oh, good. Look, I'm being observed right now. I got my evaluator here. All right.
Yes, I
So
can.
hard.
I'm
We're just
determined to.
making sure you get these 3
I
problems
don't know how
correct.
you failed the first 3.
Did you
I
get
get 1.
What if I get 0 problems?
No way.
You can always repeat the course next year.
Destroy me on the first
I could destroy them. I just need a
one. Do it.
58% like my goal. 60
Nice.
was not my final. You gotta play me fast.
I know.
All right.
You're on a roll today, Mr.
It happens. I am tired.
I don't know what I did to you today.
Huh?
I don't know what I did to you.
I'm just tired.
Because you get here at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, I got here at 5:15 this morning. Left here last night at 9:30 last night. Girls basketball tournament. So I just need to advise you, the girls basketball team looks really good.
They played a bum team, but they did look good.
So,
I wasn't there.
all right, take about 5 minutes just to look at the front and the back of this, kind of think about how you would approach this problem.
Oh, do you just draw the thingamajig?
Yeah.
Wiki.
So if you need to see what it looks like that. So draw that out, and the nice thing is on the test we will have that for you, so you don't have to have it memorized.
Thank you.
I think it's silly, unless you, I think it's silly to have these things memorized. Three, and that's this type of problem. And they are the most basic of basics.
You wrote this
Yeah, I did. I wrote that.
like a file?
No, I wrote part of the file.
All the teachers.
What is a Snapchat? No way.
My sister has
See it if you want.
I am not a Snapchatter.
You're not? Are you an Instagrammer?
I'm not an Instagrammer.
A Facebook?
Nah,
Yeah.
I'm a
he uses
Facebook
Reddit,
freak.
Yeah, you
I like stalking people on Facebook.
Same.
But then I also like to plug, say political things
things on there. That
Do you really?
Depending on.
That's so funny.
well, I just try and point out to people if you get your political views off of Facebook, I shouldn't be friends with you. Things
But
like
then,
that.
what? Then you're just giving people political views to take from Facebook.
No, I don't want them to have it. I just don't want to be friends with people who saw something on social media saying, "Oh, that must be the gospel truth."
That's what my grandpa does. He's a really good guy. He's just like,
Who?
he gets a lot of stuff from the internet.
I thought he said his dad. My dad's a really good guy, but he's just not Facebook.
You're kind of sick, Blake.
My dad edits
I mean,
his face on that.
Cool. And then flip it over and see if you can figure out the other problem on the backside about the shoe size.
No. Oh, I'm on the wrong side.
Sorry.
Wait.
Yes. I'm so mad right now.
Yeah.
You should take away my
You know,
fight.
it's his birthday.
Lost my
And
right.
that's what's sitting there.
Peas, whistles.
Birthday.
You should put my birthday.
What?
That was my birthday.
They were making fun of you in the songs.
What's on that?
Is she still
You
relevant?
need to like
She's still relevant.
Maybe I just know.
And then they were like,
I knew
you found it.
Sorry.
That's triggered the opposite. You won like 2 years.
How do you like Parks and Rec?
I don't know. No, it's like, I don't like it.
I think that's
Out of the way,
What
but
did they
I
say?
listen
What's
to
she
your
say?
interview.
Okay.
Oh,
She sounds like he's gonna win.
No, your video
Listen,
parents
Joe.
probably listen to like
Did I
Johnny
do?
Cash.
I said Miss Sutton. She doesn't give me
See, I listen to like the good stuff.
You didn't get a tardy.
I did. Yes, I tried to write it. Grant doesn't have it.
Dude, you got a Z.
I'm but yo.
my parents
I'm but
is, bro. I mean, it's a lot better than that.
Zebra.
Right?
Kate,
Like
just
Mumbo
work
Rap
on
or
the phone.
whatever.
Just work on
What's Kate doing?
New seats. I hate sitting behind.
She's just offended by my choice in music.
No, I'm not offended.
What do you
just
like?
can't stop
Green
talking
Day?
sometimes.
Probably harmonica music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can you
we're gonna get it. We're headed.
not talk?
Yeah, my bad, dog.
And what music do you listen to?
Lots of punk and also 80s rock.
Lots of punk.
Yeah, I do.
Not like punk.
You
Yeah,
have
know.
to look at me. You make the curve, and then in the middle you
Big.
put 9. And since the standard deviation is 1.9, you go up 1.9 and put another line.
Oh,
And then you go
yeah.
up
Oh,
1.9
also, this is thing called melting punk. So it's basically
and then
punk,
you go down.
but it has like
Ah!
and it sounds like pirate music.
Just put 9 and then
Play me.
That was good stuff.
9 and
All right.
I
Let's
can't
go over this.
focus with
Is
the kid
everyone
talking.
feel you will not need to know how to draw the normal curve, but like you kind of realize what it is, yes?
Yeah.
So let's go to the shoe problem on the back.
Shoot.
What's the average size shoe?
9.
9. Okay, and I had to justify that it was in men's. I'm sorry, ladies. I just had to pick men or male or female, so I was biased. I chose the guys. Sorry. What's the shoe size that increases by with standard deviation?
Damn
1.5.
1.5.
Make one.
Oh, so like 10.5.
That's
and then,
12.
Like
Then 13.5.
yeah, and then 7.5.
Go with that. Then 6. And then what's the last one? 4.5. So that's how we do our spread of our data. So that's important to be able to do for what you'll see on the finals. You should be able to, how do I go from 9 to 10.5? I'm adding the standard deviation. I add the standard deviation, keep going. Okay?
How would a 21-year-old even have a 4.5?
Not quite sure. but I can tell you it's a very small percentage of people.
Be nice.
I have been
Look
all
at me. Be
semester.
nice.
Take his weed.
I'm done. I'm done.
You gotta
All right.
be positive.
All right. So what percent of people? What percent of people have a shoe size smaller than this? It's at 84%. So basically, the easy way to do it, you could say, I'm going to add this, 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 and this, and that together. Or you could say, I'm going to go this plus this plus this, subtract from 100%. So you have 84% of the population have a shoe size that is smaller than a 10.5 that are age 21s in men's shoes.
I have a bigger foot than that.
Okay, well, you know what they call outliers? Freaks of nature.
That's true.
I'm just kidding.
I bet you have a bigger shoe than
Wait, this is
No, I'm a size 9.
For real? I'm an 11 and a half.
That's so.
Yes.
How come it's 34%? Like, bro?
34, yeah. Like, why is that?
It's just that the between one standard deviation, you want to have 68% of your population that always falls. You know,
Like, that's just, to me, that's not.
so the information that falls in there is we want to create a normal curve. If there's a normal curve, there's also a curve that's not going to work. Okay, but this is just kind of like, hey, we collected data, we found it. Okay. Okay. So then the next question says this. What percent of people have a shoe size between a 7 and 10.5? Oh, shoot. I have a misprint on there. That should have been a 7.5, so change to 7. So what percent of people have a shoe size between here?
68.
68%, okay? So again, I had a misprint on this page. I apologize. Change it from between 7, make it 7.5 and 10.5. And then a person has an actual shoe size of 8.59. Find the z-score. So the z-score is the observed minus the or the mean over the standard deviation. So person has a 8.59 minus 9 over 1.5. Is that right? So this should be a negative answer. Why should it be a negative answer? To the left of the average. So what does that come out to? I don't have a calculator. So 8 point. How much?
2.79.
What? Someone try it again. Huh? 0.27. So a person who has that particular shoe size is negative 0.27 away. So we're talking like here.
Why did they change?
Does that make sense? And then let's go to the other end of the spectrum. Let's go with the guy with the 13.44 size foot. So still the z-score. So 13.44 minus the average over the standard deviation of 1.5. This should be positive. Why? Because it's larger than the average. To the right of the average. 13.44 minus 10.5 divided by 1.5 is.
Why did you put 1.96?
Huh? Oh, that should have been a 9. I'm sorry. That should have been a 9. You're right. So 13.44 minus 9. So that's 4.44. 4.44 divided by 1.5 is 2.96. Love it. So 2.96. 1 standard deviation, 2.96. That person falls down there. So that's all I got for that. Let's take a look at Smurfville packet. See if you have anything that you want to hit upon. That's it. Just like that. Any questions? Okay. Yeah, Riley, what do you got?
I just don't understand 11 and
Unit 3, number 11.
Left and 12.
11, 12. Okay,
What is that?
so all right. So let me ease your mind. So let's say I'm just gonna make up something on the constraints. So you're gonna have this kind of choice. So here's choice 1, where it maybe has that's choice 1. Is that okay? And I'm just giving you choices, and then you have one that's an XY axis, and let's say we have and then maybe we have some last choice that's okay. Ready? How many equations would I have had to do this? Be very careful because you include the x and y axis. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it? So this would be like x is greater than or equal to 0, y is greater than or equal to 0, and then you would have 2 more linear equations. Okay? How many would be here? 3. We'd have y is greater than or equal to 0 for this. Then we have one more, so you have 2 more equations. And then this one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So if I gave you 4 equations, it's going to look like this. If I said, here are 3 equations that I have listed, it's going to look like this one. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did you guys just like take
We didn't do anything, nothing.
And if you had 6 equations, it's going to look like that. Oh my gosh, that's the error. Dude, my heart is full.
So since there's 4 in this, it looks like the front one.
I mean, I just made up the first one, so the one on your page won't look like that.
Wait, so,
That is honestly as easy as this is.
okay, do we need to make them like equal time?
So, Riley, the problem on the test, honestly, if you can realize you're looking at a shape that's already given to you, and you're like, how many equations do I have? Oh, look, they gave me 3 equations. Oh, it has to be this kind of look. If you look at the picture I gave you of the shaded region already, and there was, say, 6 equations, it's got to look something like that. It is honestly that easy.
So when you have to draw it yourself.
I'm not making you draw it yourself.
Oh.
I will literally say, which one of these 3 items looks like this bounded region?
And then for like 12 it says write a system of constraints for the problem.
I won't touch it.
How much of a test
So like,
is like?
I'm confused, dude. So do
Cross
they
it off.
do every single question in this packet? So like, don't do this then?
No, I would do it. I mean, it would work, but I'm just trying to guide you away from going real deep into the constraints because I'm testing you on this real level. I'm not going here.
So you don't have to do this question?
Put a smiley face on it, would you?
For real?
Sure. All right.
Thank you.
No, I'm just
No,
trying to make it. I'm trying to lessen the anxiety. Like if I went
No,
through.
that makes sense.
If I lose, I'm gonna be. Wait, how much of the test is graphs?
What?
The graphs.
Like, how much of the test is like, look at this graph. What's the equation?
68%. I don't know.
It hasn't yet.
Yes.
You had 4 for
Unit 4.
Unit 4? Oh, yeah. Got it.
Unit 4 what?
24
Put a smiley face on both 24 and 25. You won't see it on the final.
Hey.
God, can we do 20?
Yeah.
I was
Can you
like,
do like that?
Stir up house. I'm gonna come see you after school. Okay. Yeah. Number 20 off of Unit 4.
Put in workout. 13.
Okay.
18.
It's just.
It is an absolute value. Agreed.
Hey, why is there a blanket on leak on it?
Finally!
There's Brett Duder. How many answers will an absolute value problem have if it's 2? Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is this. What did I get? Why did I get that?
Oh, you divided it.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, cause
Wait, so what?
You divide everything. You divide the outside by 2. You get the good stuff.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
What are my 2 equations, right?
X equals 12 and x equals -4.
Done.
Wait, why don't you do like x plus 4?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do x plus 4.
I can do that. That's the same, technically the same way.
Can we
But
do
why isn't it like x plus 4 equals 8? If that makes sense. Like, I understand x minus 4 equals 8, and then why can't it be x plus 4 equals 8?
It's not a, you'd have to change both of these signs like this to do what you're doing, which is the exact same thing. Your way is actually the correct way to do it. I was just trying to cheat the system, saying take what's in the radical or in the absolute value, write it twice, take the simpler side, make it positive and negative.
Whoa. Can we do 31 instead of
I
the
know.
last page? Oh wait, we gotta do 1.
So you're good with me dividing by the 2 in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So technically, we can't have a negative distance, so that this is kind of silly. So that's why we would have shown you this way here. Change both signs here, set it equal to normal. But it comes out to -4 as well.
So never do x plus 4 equals 8.
You have to change both signs if you do that. You're changing the equation, its value, to positive and negative components rather than what it's equal to.
So for like 21, it'd be like 3x plus.
Hey, I got a phone call. From Denver.
Answer it.
All right, we're on speaker. Bueno.
This is a notification from Arapahoe Community College. ACC Parker Campus, lockout. Press 1 to hear the full message. This is a notification from Arapahoe Community.
Me too, man.
Can't get it. All right.
We'll never know.
You know what the
I think they would
Arapahoe Community College Parker campus is? It's on the same campus as Chaparral High School. I mean, seriously, it's like, from here to the next building over. So, I imagine Chaparral is probably on a lockout or lockdown.
Dirty stuff, man.
So you just got like a bunch of high schoolers.
Okay, somebody asked for a question. I can't remember. Riley, did I finish answering?
Yeah.
Feel good about it?
Yeah.
Sure? No fibbing? Go ahead. You had a question. Olivia had a question. No, you didn't. No. Who else? Go ahead.
I'm just clarifying, so when you just x plus 4, you just answered.
Yeah, I did. I need that so much more. I told you I was going.
Yeah.
I don't know why God had to do this, but number 10 on
Thank God.
10 on Unit 1.
Finals.
10 or 11? Or which one? What's
10
it?
or 11.
No, we don't.
All right, unit 1.
I think that's unit 1.
We're supposed to stay at school. I'm obviously not, but like.
Oh, wait, no.
we
No,
can't
no,
do
no,
that.
no, no.
Okay.
Unit 2.
Unit 2. Which
Come
one?
on, Blake.
Hey, Numera.
What on?
Yes.
That's why I feel like all my tests, I have like 1 year long.
Oh, that's a good one. All right.
Or like fake tests. No, I have like fake tests like yeah, they're required.
Aerobics. Playing Just Dance.
I was telling him like to come in during 5th grade. I just never come.
Tomorrow we have
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna make her play.
So number 10.
I gotta do
This one's for parallel. Number 11, they want for perpendicular. So first thing I have to identify is I have to identify the slope. So I have a slope that's equal to 1/2. The parallel slope is also 1/2. Is that okay so far? So then I'm going to go to my point slope equation. This was old school algebra 1. So I'm going to show it 2 different ways because it was taught 2 different ways by different teachers. So I'm going to use point slope, which that's x1, that's y1. So I can plug in, so I'm going to get y minus 2 equals 1/2 times x plus 9. So that's the equation right there that is parallel to the given equation that also goes to that point. Now some people are like, dude, why don't you solve it for y? Because it asks for the equation. Did it ask for the equation in slope-intercept form? So we have to get all the way to slope-intercept form. So I go to slope-intercept form, I'm going to get this plus 9/2, which is 4.5. Is that okay? Then add 2 to both sides.
y equals 1/2 x
6.5. Now, the other way I want to show this is some places might have done it this way. So this right here is if you came through Algebra 1 here at Creek, you probably saw it this way. If you saw Algebra 1 at your middle school, they do this. They're like, hey, we're going to use y equals mx plus b. And we have this point that we gave us, which was, we had this point that was -9 and 2. And we had the slope that was 1/2. Okay, that means you're going to plug this x and this y in. So you're going to get 2 is equal to 1/2 times -9 plus b. So 2 is equal to -4.5 plus b. So add 4.5, so I get 6.5. So my b value is now 6.5, and my slope is this. If you look back up here, oops, if you look right here, that slope and it has the y-intercept. So it's your choice which way you want to do it. Some people were taught one way, some were taught another, so I'm trying to honor both. Rather than have some kid go, but I love Mr. Ferris at blah, blah, blah middle school. Did you have Mr. Ferris? Just some name I made up, I'm sorry. All right, so my slope of this one is -3. The perpendicular slope is the flip over of 3 and the opposite sign. Yeah. So then, again, I'm going to use my point slope. So I'm going to go y, x1, y1, y plus 4 because it's -4, I'm plugging in, 1/3, and then I have x minus 9. Distribute the 1/3. So I get 1/3 x minus 3. Subtract 4. So you get that.
Can you
Okay.
go over 31 in Unit 6?
What? Yeah.
You're crazy.
He is crazy. But that's how it goes. Millions of people living at Spokes. It's a little Ozzy Osbourne for y'all. Where am I going? Salmon.
31.
31
Unit
on
6, it's like the last page.
31. Dude, where'd that answer? Oh, that's a great one. All right. So I'm going to show this 2 different ways. Not because anything's wrong, but I want you to be able to be warmed up for it. So this is from Unit 6, number 31. -2, 3, and 6 plus I. All right. So
Remember, if I have this given, then this also has to be a root. Little hint, you'll have a question very similar to that, saying, hey, I have a root of this, what does the other one have to be? Okay? Does that make sense so far?
So look at the radical stuff too.
Dude, let me do this problem. You asked for it, then you're asking on top of that.
Yeah, dude.
Dude. Alright, so Sam's out of control. Alright, so this is going to give me x plus 2 as a binomial. You okay with that?
Yeah.
This is going to give me x minus 3 as a binomial. Is you okay with that? But then I want to take care of these. So these are the kind of the strange ones to figure out. You're like, okay, I got that. So that means I have this. It's off of this. And then if I have this as my other one, that means that goes with x minus 6 plus I. Okay? Now, being I'm multiplying conjugates with each other, and this might upset a few of you if I skip this step, but you got to trust me. Is this and this, are those both conjugates?
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are also like conjugates. Okay? So when I multiply those together, the first and the last term are the only thing that happen. Is that okay?
So the first and last.
Yeah, so I have x squared, and then negative I times I is
Negative I squared.
It's just
hang on, I'm off though.
Yeah, that's.
Wait. Hang on. I'm thinking.
Let the man
Maybe.
think.
Dude, don't let me think. Let me multiply it out because I'm going to goof things up. X squared minus 6x plus ix minus 6x. That's where my arrow was right there. And then if I multiply out the rest, this is what this one will actually come out to if I multiply the rest out. I'll also get x squared minus 12x plus 1. The reason why it's plus 1 is you wind up with the negative I squared at the end. The negative I squared is the same thing as positive I. All right. My plan for is tomorrow Friday?
Yeah.
Dang, I thought today was. Okay, my plan for tomorrow is anything is game on this that we go over. Okay? Good?
Dude, when do we turn this in?
When is our final in here? Monday? Tuesday? Tu- Monday's a feel good day? What?
Mondays are
Okay.
Monday's
Yeah,
just
like we have like
Monday.
All right, my friends, have a great day. Take care.